The room is finally quiet, but your mind isn't. You turn the lights off, you get comfortable, you tell yourself, okay, tonight I'm going to sleep early. And for a second, it almost feels possible. Then you close your eyes, and your brain starts talking. Not gently, not slowly, loud, fast, like it's been waiting all day for this moment. One thought becomes five. Five becomes a full conversation with yourself. You replay what you said earlier. You picture what might happen tomorrow. You remember something embarrassing from years ago, like it happened 10 minutes ago. And you can feel how tired your body is. But your mind is acting like it just clocked in. If this happens to you, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not weak. You're not bad at relaxing. And you're not broken. A mind that won't shut up at night isn't a personality flaw. It's usually a pattern. And patterns come from somewhere. A lot of people can fall asleep the second their head hits the pillow. They don't even have to try. And if you're watching this, you've probably wondered how that's possible. Because for you, bedtime doesn't feel like rest. It feels like exposure. Like the moment you stop moving, everything you didn't deal with during the day shows up all at once. And if you've ever felt shame about that, if you've ever judged yourself and thought, normal people don't do this, I want to replace that shame with clarity. Because your brain isn't doing this to torture you. It's doing this because it thinks it's protecting you. Tonight we're going to break this down in a way that actually makes sense. Not in a just breathe way. Not in a stop thinking way. We're going to talk about the psychology behind a mind that won't switch off at night, and the hidden traits that usually sit underneath it. And once you recognize these traits, something changes. You stop fighting yourself. You stop making it personal. And you can finally start giving your brain what it's actually asking for. This video is built around 6 traits, 6 patterns that show up again and again in people whose minds get louder at night. And I want you to stay with me, because the goal isn't to become a different person. The goal is to understand what your brain is doing so you can work with it instead of against it. Let's start with the one trait that explains the whole thing. Trait number 1. Your brain is addicted to certainty, not anxiety. Most people assume nighttime overthinking is your brain being anxious. But anxiety isn't the reward. Certainty is. Your brain uses anxiety like a flashlight. It shines it into the future, into the past, into conversations, into decisions, because it's trying to find something solid, something guaranteed, something it can say, okay, we're safe. Listen to what your mind sounds like at night. It's usually not random, it's questions. What if tomorrow goes wrong? What if I said the wrong thing? What if they took it the wrong way? What if I'm missing something? Those aren't just worries, they're your brain hunting for a guarantee. And at night, certainty drops. Because sleep is uncertainty. Sleep is letting go of control. Sleep means you're not available, you're not monitoring, you're not preventing problems. And if your brain learned at some point in your life that being prepared equals being safe, then bedtime isn't relaxing, it's threatening. It's the moment you're supposed to surrender control, and your brain doesn't trust surrender, so it runs a final scan. It reviews, it predicts, it rehearses, it tries to cover every angle. Because in your brain's logic, if I can predict it, I can control it. If I can control it, I can prevent pain. Here's the painful part. Certainty has no finish line. There will always be one more scenario, one more what if, one more possibility. So your brain keeps looping, not because it loves anxiety, but because it's chasing certainty like oxygen. If this is you, here's your first relief sentence. Say it slowly, because your nervous system needs to hear it like truth. My brain is loud because it's trying to feel certain, not because I'm broken. That one sentence matters because it changes the emotion underneath your thoughts. Instead of shame, you get understanding, and understanding is calming. And once you see the certainty addiction, the next trait becomes obvious, because a brain that craves certainty usually sits on top of a nervous system that never fully relaxes. Trait number 2, your nervous system is hypervigilant. Hypervigilance doesn't always look like panic attacks. Sometimes it looks like being on top of things. Sometimes it looks like responsibility. Sometimes it looks like a mind that analyzes everything. But the core of hypervigilance is simple. Your body is scanning for threat even when you're safe. At night, that scanning gets louder because the day is full of distraction. The day gives your brain noise, people, tasks, notifications, movement. But night removes the noise. And when the noise is gone, You hear what was always underneath it: tension, alertness, unfinished safety. This is why you can feel exhausted but not sleepy. You want to rest, but your body won't let you fully drop. And in that state, your mind becomes a threat generator. Because when your nervous system is activated, your thoughts don't stay neutral. They lean negative. They lean urgent. They lean worst case. That's not a moral failure. That's biology. This is also why stop thinking advice fails. Because you're not dealing with a thinking problem first. You're dealing with a state problem. The thoughts are following the state of your body. If your body is in protection mode, your mind will produce protective thoughts, scanning, rehearsing, predicting, preventing. So, before we ask your brain to be quiet, we have to send your body one clear message. We are safe enough to rest. Here's a simple, realistic step you can do tonight in under a minute. Not as a magic trick, just as a signal. Let your jaw unclench. Most people don't realize they're still holding tension there. Drop your shoulders like you're taking off a heavy bag. Exhale longer than you inhale, because a longer exhale tells your nervous system, we're not running. Feel the mattress under your back, and then whisper one line, right now, I am safe. Not, my whole life is safe. Not, everything is perfect. Now, if this is resonating with you, Unfelt explores the psychology of people who feel differently, think deeply, and process the world in ways that most others don't. If that's you, I'd love to have you as part of this community. Just hit that subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Now, if you're hypervigilant, there's a high chance you also carry trait number 3, because hypervigilant people usually learned one rule early. If I stay responsible, nothing goes wrong. Trait number 3, you carry hyper-responsibility, and your mind runs guilt loops. Hyper-responsibility means you feel responsible for things that were never fully yours. Other people's moods, other people's comfort, the tone of the room, the outcome of conversations, the emotional temperature of your relationships. And at night, that turns into a guilt engine. You replay what you said. You replay what they said. You replay their facial expression. You replay your tone. You replay what you should have done better. Not because you enjoy suffering, but because your brain is checking something that matters deeply to a human being: belonging. If belonging didn't feel stable at some point in your life, if love felt conditional, if approval felt fragile, if conflict felt dangerous, then your brain starts treating social moments like survival moments. It starts monitoring. It starts performing. It starts trying to prevent disconnection before it happens. And then at night, when you're alone with your thoughts, your brain reviews the day like it's building a case. Did I do something wrong? Did I offend them? Did I come across stupid? Did I say too much? Did I not say enough? Did I make it worse? That isn't just overthinking. That's a brain that learned, if I stay perfect, I stay safe. And if you've lived this way long enough, rest starts to feel like risk. Because when you're not monitoring, you feel like you're failing. Even sleep can feel like, I should be doing more. So here's the practical shift that begins to break hyper-responsibility. Separate responsibility from guilt. Responsibility says, if I hurt someone, I can repair it. Guilt says, I have to punish myself forever. Ask yourself one clean question when you're spiraling at night. Is there an action I need to take, or is this self-punishment? If there is an action, write it down. Not in your head, on paper. Text them tomorrow. Clarify tomorrow. Apologize tomorrow. That creates structure, and structure creates certainty. And certainty helps the brain release. If there is no action, if you're replaying a moment that cannot be changed, then your brain is trying to pay a debt that doesn't exist. And the more you punish yourself, the more your brain learns that nighttime is the place where punishment happens, which makes the loop stronger tomorrow night. So instead of punishment, you practice closure. You practice a new inner message: I can learn without suffering. And that sentence is going to matter even more in the next trait, because what looks like thinking at night is often something else entirely. It's not logic. It's emotional backlog. It's unprocessed feelings finally looking for space. Trait number 4, you postpone emotions until nighttime, so your brain processes them in the dark. A lot of people don't actually feel their feelings in real time. They function. They keep it together. They do what needs to be done. They keep moving. They stay strong. And sometimes that strength is survival. Because at some point in your life, you didn't have the luxury to fall apart. So you became the kind of person who can push feelings down and still perform. You can smile and still carry stress. You can show up and still be overwhelmed. But emotions don't disappear because you postpone them. They wait. And nighttime is often the first moment your brain feels like it has permission to bring them back up, because the distractions turn off, the performance ends, the world quiets down, and your mind says, okay, now we process. That's why your thoughts at night can feel heavier. That's why you suddenly remember things you haven't thought about in years. That's why you feel more regret, more fear, more shame after 10 p.m. It's not because the night is cursed. It's because your system finally has space to unload what you kept inside all day. So here's the practical move. You don't just need bedtime calm. You need a container earlier in the evening so your brain doesn't have to dump everything on your pillow. Try a 5-minute emotional checkout before bed. Not in bed, before bed. Sit somewhere else, open a notebook, and write one honest paragraph. That's it. You're not solving it. You're acknowledging it. Because for many people, the brain spirals harder when it feels ignored. When you give your mind a container earlier, it's less likely to hijack you at midnight. This worry scheduling, journaling earlier approach is commonly recommended for nighttime anxiety and racing thoughts because it helps reduce what shows up at bedtime. And once the emotional backlog is acknowledged, you start noticing the next trait. Your mind doesn't just think, it simulates. Trait number 5. You have a simulation brain, high pattern recognition, that turns into mental rehearsals. Some minds don't simply have thoughts. They run scenarios, they storyboard conversations, they predict outcomes, they connect patterns quickly. They notice micro-expressions, tone shifts, pauses, and what wasn't said. And yes, this can be a gift. It can make you perceptive. It can make you emotionally intelligent. It can make you quick. But at night, that same strength becomes a trap because your brain tries to use simulation to gain certainty. So you lie in bed and your mind starts doing what it thinks is helpful. It rehearses tomorrow. It writes scripts. It tries different versions of what you'll say. It tries to predict what they'll say back. It tries to avoid embarrassment. It tries to prevent rejection. It tries to prevent conflict. And here's the part that makes it exhausting. Your nervous system doesn't fully understand the difference between imagined stress and real stress. If your mind runs a danger scene, your body reacts as if you're in it. That's why you can feel your heart rate change, your stomach tighten, your jaw clench, even though you're literally safe in bed. Trait number 6. You don't have an internal closure habit. Your brain keeps open loops. If your mind never shuts up at night, it's often because your brain doesn't know how to stamp a thought as complete unless it gets perfect certainty. And perfect certainty is rare, so your mind stays open. It stays unfinished. It keeps checking, rechecking, reviewing, replaying, because the loop never receives a closing signal. A lot of people grew up with closure outside themselves. They needed reassurance from someone else. They needed a parent to say, "It's okay." They needed a teacher to confirm, "You did good." They needed the environment to feel predictable. But if you didn't get consistent reassurance, or if you learned early that mistakes had consequences, you may have developed a brain that doesn't end tasks emotionally. It ends tasks physically. You complete the day, but you don't complete the emotional loop. So your mind tries to complete it at night. And this is why the solution isn't silence. The solution is closure, not perfect closure, enough closure. Now let's turn all of this into a simple plan you can actually use. Practical steps, night plan, how to calm a mind that won't shut up. First, understand the order, body first, brain second. If you try to solve your thoughts while your nervous system is activated, you'll accidentally convince yourself of the worst case. That's why health guidance for racing thoughts often recommends stepping out of the loop, calming down, and then returning when drowsy. Step 1. Do a 60-second nervous system reset in bed. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, exhale slowly, then say quietly, "Right now, I am safe." Keep it simple. Your nervous system doesn't need a speech. It needs a signal. Step 2. Create a container earlier. 5 minutes, not in bed. Write 2 lists, what I'm worried about and what I can do tomorrow. If there's no action, write no action available. This is powerful because it gives your brain structure, and structure creates certainty. That's what your brain is chasing anyway. This kind of approach is often suggested for nighttime anxiety. You give the mind a place to put worries so they don't spill over at bedtime. Step 3. Stop answering every what if. The moment you notice a spiral, say, "This is a simulation, not a signal." Then return to the body, feel the bed, slow your exhale, soften your face. Your goal is not to win an argument with your brain. Your goal is to change the state. Step 4. Give your mind a closing statement. This is the most important part, because your brain keeps looping until it feels done. So we're going to give it a done signal, enough certainty to release. Here's the closing statement. Say it slowly. Say it like you mean it. Not as a magic spell, like a decision. I did what I could today with what I knew. If something needs repair, I will handle it tomorrow. Right now, I am safe. This thought can be finished. Pause. Repeat it. If your brain tries to restart the loop, don't punish yourself. Don't argue with it. Just repeat the closing statement again. Repetition is how you train safety. Your brain learned looping through repetition. It can learn closure through repetition too. And one more thing. This matters. When you have nights like this, your mind will try to convince you that you're failing, that you're wasting time, that you're falling behind. But the truth is, your brain is doing what it learned to do, protect you by preparing. You're not broken, you're trained. So be gentle with yourself tonight. Your mind isn't loud because it loves suffering. It's loud because it's trying to prevent suffering. It thinks if it can predict everything, you won't get hurt. And when you stop fighting your brain and start giving it what it's actually seeking, certainty, structure, and closure, your nights can get quieter. Because your brain isn't addicted to anxiety, it's addicted to certainty. And this gives it enough certainty to release. This is Unfelt, where we explore the psychology of experiences most people never discuss. If these videos help you feel understood instead of judged, validated instead of fixed, stay here. This is your space. The next video might explain something about your personality that you felt your entire life but never had language for.